بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad.
Inshallah, today Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is going to be the subject. We always start by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All our a'mal for example, when we read Quran, when we start by eating, before drinking, Allah Azza wa Jal always say, start by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Why? Because it's very important. Philosophers, including to the religion, who study philosophy with religion, we call them sometimes religionists. Those people are, they spend all their life, they're trying to know the meaning of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And if you go search the library, there's many books that are saying the secrets of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. But if you open them all, what they're talking about always is just regular information. For example, they say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim meant to be something good to Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Because this something good will always affect your life. This word will always affect your life in the form of your behavior. You always get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, because everything has to start by Allah Azza wa Jal and has to end by conclude by Him. And many books, many lectures you open, you read. Alhamdulillah, there is a lot of knowledge, but in reality, nobody really touched this subject in a pinpoint. And for years, always they bring, for example, numbers. They translate Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim to Abjad Hawas, They translate this to numbers, and they try to add this and subtract it from different ayat. And we always have miraculous ways. For example, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim equal to so and so in numbers. And you take this number, you can add it to all ayat, and some ayat they will equal to Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, or vice versa. And many people they wrote books about that. This is the second part. This is like playing with numbers, what we call it mathematical theory of proving that the Quran is right. But this lecture, I'm not trying to prove the Quran is right. I'm trying to take you to a different place, different dimension, never been mentioned before. And Allah Azza wa Jal had the formula of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim inside the Quran, and the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim has the formula for something bigger than we ever expected it. And it will translate this to the foundation of universe, and how Allah Azza wa Jal created the universe, and how this can be found in different areas. Like if you find, for the first time, if you're listening to this lecture, you will say, what you're talking about? This is too much to comprehend, because saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is something very small. But Imam Ali said, if you want to know the knowledge of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we can get 100 camel, and in each camel there has like maybe 5-6 encyclopedia, big one from the big size, and even we will not fit the meaning of what Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. But from the point of what we have now, regarding all the sciences and so on, we will try to just touch this subject for maybe the new generation after us, or maybe later us, can research and can try to discover what does it mean exactly. And so we will try to start by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman. When we say it, subhanallah, Allah Azza wa Jal created even the muscles. When you say that, your first muscle, when you say it, you will be smiling. When you try to say Bismillah, even if you repeat it by slowly, when you do it, when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you will see you're smiling. You're smiling for something important. Why? Because you are opening ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and inside the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, each one of them, they have a big explanation. And for you to begin by remembering Allah Azza wa Jal, by saying by the name of Allah, and the name Allah, it has a big miraculous way. If you take Allah as a name, you take the first letter, it will be Lillah. The second one, you take it off, it will be Lahu. The third one, Huwa, who, the biggest name of Allah Azza wa Jal, the one closest to your heart, from your veins. Even that name is very miraculous, and Allah Azza wa Jal, He put that name miraculously next to two different names, and those names represent Allah Azza wa Jal too. But those three names are representing the Creator. Here is the secret, how those things begin. Imam Ali mentioned something very important, and most of the ulama always mention it. They say the Quran, all the meaning of the Quran, all of it, from Surah Al-Baqarah till the very end. All whatever you read, all the stories, all the meaning, all the morals, the secrets, everything of those papers included in the meaning of Al-Fatiha. All this meaning is inside Surah Al-Fatiha. And Surah Al-Fatiha, the meaning of this Surah Al-Fatiha is inside Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And the Surah Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, all the meaning of Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is inside the ba, the beginning of Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And this ba has a dot under that, and all the meaning of this is inside this dot. And at the very end he said, I am that dot. That's very surprising, that's very big. How can be someone claiming that? And or how someone can think like that? Something very big. I mean, if you say it to someone just maybe newly introduced to Islam, and he will know what is Allah Azza wa Jal and so on, he will say this word is kufr. This word is unbelievable. How can someone claim that? And I will show you now all this unlocking will take us. Because Allah Azza wa Jal at the very end, He is like what He explained about Himself, what He is proving to show you. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, the most beneficiary. So we'll open the Quran. We'll try to find where can we find Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It is very hard to concentrate in such explanation. We look, all the ayat, all the surah does not have, every one of them does have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim at the beginning, except one. And it was substituted by who? By the story of Sulaiman. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He wants you, He's like having a big marker saying here, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I took it from one of the surahs and then I put it over here for you to know the unlocking secret of this word. So we look, you say Allah Azza wa Jal in the Holy Quran, Surah An-Naml, when Sulaiman, Prophet Solomon, he sent a letter to Sheba, right? This letter is very famous, and many people always, when they look at it, they thought Sulaiman, he's very aggravated from Sheba, and he want to order her to be Muslim. But in reality, we will see now what's going on. Over here, I'm going to mention it in Arabic first, and then I'm going to mention it in English after. Sulaiman, alayhi salam, Prophet Solomon, he sent the bird. You know the story, with the letter. And then the bird, he threw the letter inside her castle, and she said to her people after reading that letter, she said, قالت يا أيها الملأ إني ألقي إلي كتاب كريم. Over here, a weird letter. This is what opened all this secret. This word saying Kitabun Kareem. If someone is threatening you, what we will do? You will immediately be like, I want to go kill that person. But over here she said, someone sent me, has been honorable letter has been delivered to me. You see? And under that, all the Muslims claim that there's a threatening. If you don't become Muslim, then something bad gonna happen. So if someone threaten you, why you say there's an honorable letter has been sent to you? And I will read what that letter meant. He said, إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألا تعلوا علي وأتوني مسلمين. Sulaiman, I'm gonna mention what the translation. Surely it is from Sulaiman, and it's surely in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, saying, exalt not yourself against me and come to me in submission. That's very weird, right? How someone can, for example, Sheba, she used to worship the sun for thousands of years. Her even fathers, all her ancestors, and she's very strong. She's a queen. She's very proud of her whatever she have. She have a big army. They're very powerful. And when Sulaiman, Salamullah Solomon, sent her that letter, he said, Allah Azza wa Jal, that's it. إنه من Sulaiman. It is from Sulaiman, and it is by the name of Allah. Don't be high on me and become Muslims. That's it. So always Muslim, like the translators, they were surprised. Why this short letter? It is very surprising. How can you want to turn someone from being worshipping all this time, worshipping you've been, like, for example, 2000 years worshipping the sun, and suddenly you want to make them Muslims by saying, I want you to be Muslims, and that's it. Then there's something wrong, right? What's wrong? Is it the Quran wrong, or us not understanding what Allah Azza wa Jal wanna say, right? Okay, we take the second option. We say we didn't really understand the Quran. Why? Because we're not really translating what does mean Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Over here, we go to what Imam Ali said. He said all the meaning of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is inside what? The whole Quran. The Quran is inside Surah Al-Fatiha, right? We are now taking Mathematics 101. Okay? X equal 5. Let's say X equal 5. 1 plus X equals 6. What do we do to get the value of X? We substitute X with 5, right? So we will have 1 plus 6 equals 6. Basically, I'm gonna do same thing with the Quran. Did you understand this example, or you want me to repeat it?
Repeat it one more time.
Okay, X equal 5. And I will give you 1 plus X equals 6. What does X equal? 5. You just take off the X and then you put the 5 down. So 6 will be equal to 6, right? This is very, very simple mathematics. So over here I'm going to take the same thing. I'm going to do the same 101 mathematics course. I will say that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim over here equal to what? To Surah Al-Fatiha, right? Because Imam Ali said the Quran equal to Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Fatiha equal to Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. If I take Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim out and I put the Surah Al-Fatiha inside, can I do that? Okay, if I can take the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim out and put what? The whole Quran inside, can I do that? Yes. What Allah Azza wa Jal basically saying, I don't want to repeat what Sulaiman sent to Sheba. Sulaiman, he didn't just send Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, he sent the meaning of Tawheed, he sent the meaning of Salat, he sent the secret of the universe, he sent many things, but Allah Azza wa Jal, he does not want to want you to know all this, because the Quran basically is all this. You see? Basically that's it. So Sulaiman, he didn't send her Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, he sent her few letter, like a big letter, maybe a book, that explaining all the secret of the universe, how Allah Azza wa Jal created this universe, what we are from, and where we're going, what's hereafter. And he told her about Rasulullah, and told her about all the miraculous way that Allah Azza wa Jal is presenting himself. So all these papers that Sulaiman sent, Allah Azza wa Jal, he doesn't want to mention them, because you already should be knowing that, because you're a Muslim. Basically he said, إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. You see? So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim basically is whatever the Quran is holding the meaning. Okay. So now we are substituting things to other things. So if we are claiming that all the Quran equal to Surah Al-Fatiha, I'm gonna focus in this point. If someone gonna open the Quran, he will tell you, can you give me percentage what the Quran exactly is talking about? It's impossible for me to know. What do you mean I'm talking about? I have to spend 50 years reading page by page. I'll say this ayah is special in inheritance. This ayah special in Ahl al-Bayt. This ayah is special, especially Allah Azza wa Jal sent it for so and so. This ayah is special for so whatever it is. So it's gonna take me maybe 50 years to know. Do I have a easier way to know what's the Quran talking about? Yes, because since all the Quran equal to Surah Al-Fatiha, I will just study Surah Al-Fatiha and it will show me what Allah Azza wa Jal is talking about. So we will look. Allah Azza wa Jal said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jal. Yani basically you're saying, thank you Allah Azza, because you created me, and so on. You're thanking Allah Azza wa Jal for that, for the creation, and for whatever you want to think about. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Right? Malik Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. To all the surah. So we take that we did see that Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned himself only at the beginning. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Malik Yawmiddin, the owner of the day of judgment. Right? And then after that he's explaining something else. He didn't define himself. In the Surah Al-Fatiha there's no definition for Allah Azza wa Jal. You see, did he define himself? Did he say, I am the most glorious God? No, basically what he said, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, thanks to Allah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. You see, Malik Yawmiddin. Basically, Allah is always going to be this great creator that nobody know anything about him. But why? Only in a form of what he defined himself with. He defined himself again. He said, Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And again he said, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Again. So he's defining himself like he is trying to show you that he is the Rahman and Rahim. Again. That's it. And then all the ayahs after are talking about the right path. He doesn't care about you knowing him, except being he's the creator and you're thanking him. That's it. And all, he defined something else. He said, the only way you come to me by the right path. So basically the Quran, let's take the first 3 ayat, since all the Surah Al-Fatiha is 6 or 7, whatever school of thought, saying, okay, if you take the first 3 is equal to 50% of what is Allah, thanking Allah Azza wa Jal, and the rest is the right path. So since all the Quran equal to Surah Al-Fatiha, then all the Quran will be 50% of it talking about how to thank Allah Azza wa Jal, and the rest is to how to find the right path. You see? So the first 50% is what? Knowing what is Salat, knowing what is Siyam, fasting, how to do fasting, knowing how to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Basically Allah Azza wa Jal, He's given you the constitution of how to reach Him. You see, many people they have this struggle. They say religion, I hate religion. Why? Because it's bad. Because there's many people commit many sins because of the religion. In reality, the people who always adopt the religion and committing bad things, or the people who's trying to explain what is religion, and the people who try to understand religion, they didn't really understood anything. Basically, religion is just a practice. I always say it, religion will not get you closer to the Creator. Never. Religion is just your behavior. It will tell you, do this behavior, do the salat, do the siyam, do so and so. But if you don't put spirituality in those actions, you will never reach anything. Now you see the people in Middle East. They if you tell them, you open the Quran, you say page 15, surah number 5. Immediately he will say what's in the Quran. He's like a computer, whatever you give him an ayah, immediately he will know where is it and where is it and when Allah Azza wa Jal sent it and what time, even what Rasulullah was wearing when this was sent to him. That point, they were very precise with that. But there is no spirituality. He doesn't understand anything about the Quran, and they say the Quran is religion. No, it's not. It's defining the religion. It's defining this constitution. But in Surah Al-Fatiha, does Surah Al-Fatiha has spirituality in it? No, it doesn't have any spiritual thing. It's saying, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Rahman Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka. Where is the spirituality? There is no spirituality. So the only way to unlock the spirituality is knowing both. What? Knowing the first definition of Alhamdulillah, Alhamd. What does Hamd mean? And here the spirituality begin. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the spirituality begin by applying this to knowing Allah Azza wa Jal. You see, there's very thin line between reading and between reading with vision. You have to read with vision. You read with eyes. That's important. This is the only way we read from. But you need to read from vision too at the same time. So over here you see that the Fatiha is defining something very important. 50% is about knowing Allah the constitution that Allah Azza wa Jal wants you to know, and the other 50% is what? Is the Sirat al-Mustaqim. What is the right path that He wants you to take. He does not want you to be from Al-Maghdubi alayhim, the people who always get Allah angry, and Walad-Dallin, and the people who always lose their way. So they have 50% of the Quran is talking about that. Okay, so we go back to the 101 mathematics. We define that Surah Al-Fatiha 50% is for this route and the other 50% of that to that route. We go to where? To Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, right? Since we said x equal 5. And we substitute the meaning of Surah Al-Fatiha with the meaning of what? Of Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now can you tell me what's Bism Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim about? Since it's equal to the Fatiha, right? And we said Fatiha 50% this way and 50. So the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it has to have inside it 50% that talking about how to get to Allah, the constitution of Allah, and the other 50 about the Sirat al-Mustaqim, right? We are connecting dots here. Okay, we say Bismillah is talking about Allah. It's how to reach Allah. Bismillah. Does Bismillah have spirituality in it? No, it doesn't have any. If you just read it by Bismillah, but if you read by the name of Allah, who is Allah? Now you go extending things to the spirituality. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim is the last 50% that we talked about in Surah Al-Fatiha. Are you following me what I'm saying? Is it hard, or you want me to repeat this point?
No.
You want me to repeat this point? No. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah is talking 50. This is the first 50%, and Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is talking about what? About Sirat al-Mustaqim, since it's equal to the Fatiha, like Imam Ali said. What is Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim over here? Here we start, many things play with your hand. The most merciful, the most beneficial. This is very many things, but we'll say no, it's normal. We open the Quran, since everything is equal to everything. We go back to the same example, 101. We search in a big book in the Quran, from Surah Al-Baqarah to the very end. Did Allah Azza wa Jal talk about Ar-Rahman someplace? Did He mention Ar-Rahman? Ar-Rahim? Did He? Yes, for sure He did. You see, this is how we unlock the Quran, from that point to that point. If we look in this ayah, He said, Allah Azza wa Jal, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jal talking about Rasulullah, He said, we did not send you except for rahmah to all people, for everyone. So if Allah Azza wa Jal is rahmah in Arabic comes from Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. So when Allah Azza wa Jal is talking to Rasulullah, He's saying, you are representing the meaning of Ar-Rahman. You see, Allah Azza wa Jal كتب على نفسه الرحمة. يعني when He said, He wrote on Himself the Rahmah. This is the direct translation. So how does Allah Azza wa Jal have a nafs? No, He doesn't have a nafs. Not like us. نحن we are very limited. We have nafs. Nafs is your I. He does have a nafs? No, He doesn't have. He's more wider than what you think. We cannot comprehend what Allah Azza wa Jal is except by what He defined Himself. Only definition that He gave to Himself. That's it. This is how we know Him. The only way. I cannot predict what is He. I cannot do anything. We are very limited. So He doesn't have nafs. That's why He said, وَكَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِ الرَّحْمَةِ. He wrote on Himself the rahmah. What does it mean? The meaning is, He wrote on Himself Muhammad. He said, you are representing me. You are my rahmah to the people. This makes sense now. When Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَكَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ, then I am obligated to have Muhammad is what? Is the representative of Rahmah and all the people. And the very important thing, He didn't say, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِ, only this universe. No, He said, لِلْعَالَمِينَ, everyone. For angels. Rasulullah is Mursal. He is, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He sent Him even to the angels. We have narration that saying, Rasulullah and Imam Ali are the two people who named the angels, who gave Israfil their name, Mikael, Jibrail, Azrael. They give them their name and they give them their tasbih. They want to do tasbih, how to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. And now makes sense why. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal كتب على نفسه الرحمة. He wrote himself that how to be merciful for alamin, for jinn, for us, for the people who inhabit maybe different planet X or Z or whatever it is. Imam Sadiq said Allah Azza wa Jalla created 18,000 universe, and in each universe there are different type of people that live there. Not just us. Some people think we are only alone here in this. No, there's many different creatures, and all of them we all share Rasulullah Muhammad. Why? Because it is sent by Allah Azza wa Jalla. By what إِنَّمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَى رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And then He took the same rahmah. He said what? مَا كَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ. You see, Quran connect with each other. All the verses connect. So now we said Bismillah ar-Rahman. Rahman what? Muhammad. Muhammad. He is represented by Muhammad. And when always Allah Azza wa Jal, when they say, for example, can you just say ar-Rahman and then you stop? No. The Yahud, when they come to Rasulullah, he said, Yadullahi maghlula. Because they're so cheap, they said to Rasulullah Muhammad, they said, Allah, your God is very cheap. Yaduhu maghlula. Yani he's like this, you know. When someone cheap like this, they did this symbol. And then what Allah said? Bal yadahu mabsutatan. He didn't say by yadahu mabsuta, when his hand is open. No, he said his two hands are open. Who is two hands? Imam Ali and Rasulullah. You see? What is the story of this ayah? I want to tell you the story. The story is they did the deal with Rasulullah. They Jewish, they did certain deal with Rasulullah. And always Imam Ali, he was for example now, the Department of Tax of IRS, let's say, this department was managed by Imam Ali. So for example, he used to collect the tax, and then he used to always do the IRS stuff, and then he sent back the money, return checks and stuff. We have checks now. He used to send coins back to the people who pay the tax. This is a tax system that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he wanted to do. Even he did that to the Jewish. Why? Because they used to do some deals with the Islamic government, even though it didn't have a formal government. It was like at the beginning. So always used to claim that Imam Ali is taking from their tax. He's not giving them the right money that they should take. You know, they're playing their games and something like that. So they start saying, your God is cheap. He's not giving us what we should be given. Why? Because they didn't claim that Imam Ali is stealing the money, because they can't. Imam Ali is ma'soom, infallible, and they know him. So they said, your God is cheap. Your God should give us more money. And then over here, Allah Azza wa Jal, he revealed, he said what? بَلْ يَدَاهُ مَبْسُوطَتَانِ. His two hands are generous. Who has two hands? Referred to who? To Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Imam Ali. So taking that meaning to Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ar-Rahim is someone who is specialized only with mu'mineen. You see, Ar-Rahman is for everyone. Ma arsalnaka illa rahmatun lil alamin. Rahman is very general for everyone in the universe. Anyone can go to Rasulullah and the door will be opened immediately. But Ar-Rahim is what? Is from the same of Rahman, but it is specialized for special people only. Those people are the people who, someone over there who filtered the hypocrites from the right believers. There's someone who filtered hypocrites from the right believer, and inside that, you go inside the Rahim. So we see that the Rahman is a big circle, and the Rahim is a small circle inside the Rahman. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentioned this in the Quran, in Yawm al-Qiyamah. There are specific people who will be next to Rasulullah, and there's an angels that will take and will make a big cover around them. From outside, they will be hurt, the people who always gonna push, and from inside, وَبَاطِنُهُ الرَّحْمَةِ. You see, from outside, ظَاهِرُهُ الْعَذَابِ, Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned that, and inside that, بَاطِنُهُ الرَّحْمَةِ. What do I mean by that? Like angels will come and will gather, like for example a big circle, and Rasulullah will be inside that circle, and Imam Ali, and only specific people that nobody will be able to touch. And this will explain Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. So someone will say, no, this is I believe you with Rahman since you gave me example from the Quran. But do you have example Ar-Rahim from the Quran? Yes. We always ask the Quran, does the Quran answer? Yes, he answered. He said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in Surah At-Tawbah 128, he said, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنْتُمْ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He sent a Rasul, a messenger from your own self, from yourself. He is very careful, and he wants you always to go toward Islam. عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنْتُمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. So over here Allah Azza wa Jal, He is mentioning Rahim. Specifically for what? For who? For the mu'mineen only. Yani there's the second one is only for mu'mineen. And over here, if you look inside the ayah very carefully, He said, مَا عَنْتُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنْتُمْ. Yani the people who always suffer from something, there's someone who is going to be بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Yani only the mu'mineen inside this ummah, they will always suffer, right? Let's say now you go to Middle East. You know, Muslims are 1.5 billion, 1.5 billion Muslims. There's 1.4 billion from the other school of thought, and maybe 100 to 200,000 only the Shia school of thought. If you go to, for example, Saudi Arabia, will you be happy living there as a mu'min? You go to Kuwait, to Iraq, to whatever place you want, you will be happy living you as a woman? No. So how are those people? So people who are suffering for their iman, are only the small portion. Those small portion who are, and there's someone who specialized with them. He is bil mu'minina rahim, ra'ufun rahim. And this is referred to who? To Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib, since this explains only the people. There are certain people who are not from the majority. They always suffer for the iman, for following the route of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if we see the reality of what is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is, Allah Azza wa Jal, He said Bismillah, by the name of Allah. And then after that, since He wrote on Himself the Rahmah, He said there's Rasulullah for you. And then there is, after that, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib sallallahu alayhi. And you see, and over here, the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim will become more clearer. That the religion, all the religion, when you say Bismillah, represent your Salat, Siyam, Zakat, Hajj, Umrah, Sadaqah, all those we do, we follow in Islam. And Ar-Rahman represent how to get closer to Rasulullah, since he is the route to go to Allah Azza wa Jal, the only route. And then Ar-Rahim is the route from Al-Mu'mineen, how to go to the higher place in Aliyun. When Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned the Mu'mineen, He said they are inside Aliyun, the highest place in heaven, and they're very close to Rasulullah and their household. Now if I say that, they will say, okay, what about all the Anbiya? Where are all the Anbiya, all those people? Why Allah Azza wa Jal, He did this to Muhammad and Imam Ali? Why He didn't do it to me and to you and to everyone? Why this discrimination? Does Allah discriminate? If after whatever I said, yes, He is discriminating, but in which form? Let's understand before, and then we claim that He is discriminating or not discriminating. When Allah Azza wa Jal, I'm going to mention you information, and this information is very important for you to grasp whatever I said before. I want you to get closer to Rasulullah and Imam Ali from this point. Whatever you learned before from religion, I want you to forget it. I want you from this point to understand why Allah Azza wa Jal, He made those two people very special. When Allah Azza wa Jal created Rasulullah, He created Imam Ali. And they were like a nur, zahir and batin, outside and inside. You can look as like a lamp, and then there's a big ray, nur, and then inside that nur, a small nur, but you cannot see it because it is reflected by the big nur. This is how is the nur of Rasulullah and Imam Ali. Okay? And when Allah Azza wa Jal created them, He want to create people from this nur, special people. He looked at this nur as nadrat al-hayba. What does hayba mean? For example, when someone come to your room and he's very like eloquent, pure, like very, you feel like he's strong. You feel like you cannot play with him, right? This is what does it mean, hayba, in Arabic. Hayba mean like very respectful. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He looked at this nur very respectfully from nadrat al-hayba, and this nur starts sweating out of, why? Because when Allah Azza wa Jal look at something, this thing is gonna get what? Shy in certain form. Even the nur will get shy. But does Allah Azza wa Jal look from the way of eyes? No. There's a specific way for that, different way than we understand. So this nur starts sweating, and those sweats are, since He is nur, then they're gonna be a nur. Those people, they're gonna be a nur too. Those people that will sweat are what? Who knows? Are the prophets. Those are the prophets. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal created the prophet. So when someone tell you that Moses, for example, or Jesus, or Sulaiman, or David, or all those prophets are not infallible, then if they make big mistakes, then how Allah Azza wa Jal created them directly from Rasulullah. Does Rasulullah make mistake? No. So there's something here is not right. We have to set the scales for that to understand. So we talk about the prophets. Those prophets, they came directly from Rasulullah. And now I'm gonna tell you something even more important. If you study every life of one prophet, you will see that he took an image of the life of Rasulullah. For example, Abraham. Look, Abraham, what happened to his son? He was trying to, Allah Azza wa Jal told him to do what? Yeah, do sacrifice. And what? Later he said, وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذَبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ. And he made him stop over there. He didn't continue. Allah Azza wa Jal, he said, I'm gonna substitute it with ذَبْحٌ عَظِيمٍ. If you look at Ismail, if you look at Musa, for example, after he died, there was his successor. And you know what happened after him? You know, does anyone know what happened to his successor? His successor, Musa alayhi salam, he had a wife. And this wife started fighting this successor. And then and she said, I want a Khalifa after Musa and I don't want you. And then there was a big fight and there's 100,000 men who died because of this woman. And then this Khalifat Musa, everyone knows it, even inside the book of the other school of thought. Nobody can say no to me. And her name was what? Safura. Safura, you know. The other one is named what? It's very close with colors. Subhanallah, her name was Safura. And the Musa's wife, what happened? She killed 100,000 Jewish just because she wanted to take out the successor of Musa after his death. This will represent what? Something in Islam too. And if you study every prophet, there's a big scene inside. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned it in the Quran that happened to what? To Rasulullah and Imam Ali. So for example, if you take the life of Abraham and you join it with the life of Ismail, 124,000 prophet, whatever happened to them happened to Rasulullah in all his life. So when Allah Azza wa Jal, look how he created the prophets. When he looked at this nur, Allah Azza wa Jal, they're only like small nurs, you know. Every small nur come from this big nur. It hold a one picture frame of whatever gonna happen to Rasulullah. You see? So when someone tell you why Moses wasn't better than Rasulullah, because he only small piece of Rasulullah. Why Allah Azza wa Jal created Isa from no father? Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, he want to tell you that I created Rasulullah with no father, with no mother. From the very beginning. It is my order directly. So every prophet Allah Azza wa Jal created are what? He's holding a picture, like a snapshot from the Rasulullah's life. Like now you take the snapshot 10 seconds, right? Let's say there's 124,000 prophet. Add 124,000 prophet times 10 seconds, it will equal to Rasulullah's life. This is why Rasulullah is the best of prophets. So those people, the prophets, they have tests? Yes, they have tests. For example, Allah Azza wa Jalla, he said that Adam made a mistake in the Quran. Moses made a mistake. Isa, different prophet, they made a mistake. In which form? Not in our form. Our form of thawab and iqab is different than their tests. We cannot pass their test. We cannot even go there, us. Their test, they can fail with it, but they will still be infallible. For example, us, nahna, we have salawat, right? Only from morning, we do some prayers, morning 5 times, right? Them, and then we have something called mustahab. Mustahab is what? Is nawafil. Salat al-layl is mustahab. Whatever mustahab for us is wajib for them. Whatever makruh for us is haram for them. They cannot do it. Nahna with us is, for example, divorcing. Divorcing is makruh. It's very forbidden to do. It's like you can still do it, you can do it, but it's very but Rasulullah cannot divorce. So for some people, they wonder why he didn't divorce. You know, he cannot divorce. Why? Because he cannot commit that. But after his death, Imam Ali, he divorced. Why? Because khalas, he left here, and then someone can take that. You see, so why? That's why we should understand about their system. The system, prophecy system, is different than us. So why they're better than us? Because Allah Azza wa Jal tested Rasulullah the most. all the life of the Prophet, all their tests, everything is included inside the Rasulullah life. He is the most person who suffered in this life. He is the most person who Allah Azza wa Jal tested him. He is the most human being or soul that he hold all this suffering to reach the content of Allah Azza wa Jal. So if you say why He made them the best, because they suffered the most. If you want to be in that point, ask Allah Azza wa Jal to get you closer to them. Can you handle that? No, you cannot handle that. Let me tell you, if you're driving and you have a flat tire, you'll say, Allah, please take me from that. I don't want to be prophet. I don't want to be better than only by flat tire. If it's cold outside and you get a flat tire, that's it. With Rasulullah, every test you read in the Quran about every 120,000 prophet, Allah Azza wa Jal, He had it in His life. So that's why He got him the highest. That's why He is Rahmatun lil Alameen. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, I don't want you to suffer, us. I don't want you to suffer. There's someone who took all this suffering to reach my content. I don't want to do this to you. Just follow him and I'll include you with whatever he did. Look the beauty and how Allah Azza wa Jal loved His creatures. And Rasulullah, He took all this for you. I'm not talking now like Christians, someone died for your sin. No, you'll still get beating if you did bad things. But I want you to always ask Allah Azza wa Jal the forgiveness. There's something very important. He said, do not forget the eraser. Rasulullah said, do not forget the eraser ever. He said, Rasulullah, what is the eraser? He said, saying, Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. That's why he always been teaching us that every single night before you sleep, when you wake up, just say 70 times Astaghfirullah. Why 70 times? Because ad-dhunub, bad deeds, are equal to 70 bad deeds. If you count how many bad deeds you can be able to do, what type? Equal to 70 times. So before you sleep, always do istighfar. And who will put that in your passport? Rasulullah. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, either come to me to do istighfar or to Rasulullah. And if you go to Rasulullah, your istighfar immediately will be raised. Immediately will take effect. Why? Because He will stamp on that. So if you are from the Muslim, or from the people who worship the regular Muslim, or from the people who worship a cow in India, the rahmah comes through what? Rasulullah. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He will not look at this person who worship a cow as a bad servant. He will look through Rasulullah, through his eyes. And now He will say, no, I will always give him until he comes to me. When he comes to me, I'm gonna test his heart. So for the new Shia's generation, new Shia's style now, there's a new Shia that always, everyone is kafir if you don't follow Imam Ali. No. Rahman, Rahim. If you know what is Imam Ali, do not forget who is Rasulullah. Do not say this Sunni is going to hell, or this Christian is going to hell. Do not say, do not be extremist. This is the extremist. This is the Mughalin. Mughalin, a person who know what is Imam Ali, and he will say, I am only one who is going to heaven because I know who is Imam Ali. No, don't say that. Even a person who worship a cow, he can go to heaven. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He will test his heart after. Because he didn't have the right test in Alam al-Dunya. Do not say that. So when you look at someone doing very bad deeds, do not say La'natullah alayh. Do not say that. Never say that, except for the people who did the bad things to Ahl al-Bayt. Always say La'natullah alayh between you and your heart. But don't say curse him. You curse someone who, for example, you walk now by the street and someone passed by you and he throw water on your eggs or whatever. Don't say La'natullah alayh. Do never say this word. Rasulullah, he always said, Allahumma khfir li qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. Please, Allah Azza wa Jal, please forgive them because they don't know who I am. They don't know that I am Rahmah. That's why I always want you to take this. When you see a person who doesn't know Ahl Bayt, don't say La'natullah alayh because he doesn't know Ahl Bayt. No, he say Allahumma irham qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. Like the prayer of Rasulullah. So knowing Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim will take you to the most beautiful meaning of the merciful, and knowing Imam Ali will take you the most to the beneficent. You see, and in that meaning you will understand the meaning of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So when you said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim without mentioning who is, if you know this meaning, you don't have to mention anything else, because all is included in this package, and this package will save you alone. I can guarantee you that. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr inna al-insana lafi khusr إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صلوا على محمد وعلى
اللهم صل على محمد